You're now watching Sports Bettor's Paradise on the BetRivers Network.
All right, Jimmy Ott along with Brady Kannon talking some NFL, our best bets here this week on Sports Bettor's Paradise. Brady, let's get right to it, and we'll follow up on what we saw on Monday night. So Joe Burrow the Bengals came in without their starting quarterback. It's a common theme in the NFL this season. And then Jacksonville lost their quarterback midstream and lost the game. Sorry, Survivor contestants. I mean, that ate up a lot of people along with Pittsburgh over the weekend. Now they bounce back and go to the Cleveland Browns. Flacco looked okay in the Rams loss there. Jacksonville is plus 3.5, minus 117 right now at BetRivers, Brady.
Yeah, Jimmy, I tell you, this Browns team, a lot has really changed since the quarterback landscape has changed in Cleveland, and it's really affecting this defense. The offense has not been able to sustain drives, and I think this, once very proud defense is starting to get worn out. If you just look what has happened recently in the last 3 weeks, the Cleveland defense has dropped to dead last in yards per rushing attempt allowed, dead last in sacks of the opposing quarterback, Myles Garrett not getting home. The offense, meanwhile, is last in yards per pass attempt, last in third down conversion percentage, and last in the red zone. So that kind of pressure that the offense is putting on the defense, the loss of Deshaun Watson, it's really taking a toll on this entire team. Even with the adjustment for no Trevor Lawrence in this game, I make the Browns barely a 1-point favorite. I just don't see them winning this game by more than a field goal. Now, the Jacksonville defense on the other side, they have been regressing as of late as well. We saw the Cincinnati Bengals take it to them on Monday night. They were able to run the ball very well. But now they have the fallen hero theory going. I think this team will come with a great deal of effort. They know they're going to have to step up and put together a tremendous game because their star player is out of this contest. And I tell you what, C.J. Beathard, Jimmy, is not that bad. He is a veteran with a lot of experience. He's going to get all the snaps in practice this week. And I think if he plays a clean game and does not turn the ball over, the Jacksonville will be very competitive in this game, and they'll keep this one close, if not win it.
Well, it won't be a total surprise with Beathard. We saw him on Monday night. He looked solid. In backup quarterbacks with that much playing experience and that many career starts is a valuable piece, especially where this might be an all-time high as far as starting quarterbacks, 32 starting quarterbacks on opening day. How many have been sidelined with injury? Get extra value this football season with BetRivers Squares. Win up to $10,000 in bonus money. Bet $10 in same-game parlays on any game with the Squares icon to earn a square. That's brought to you by our friends over at BetRivers. All right, we're looking at a teaser here for your next selection, a 6-point teaser. It's minus 117 at BetRivers right now. A more attractive price than a lot of folks will get from time to time. Looking at the Denver Broncos and Los Angeles Chargers on the first half of the teaser, Denver teasing up over the hot numbers of 3 and 7 of up to plus 8.5.
Yeah, Jimmy, you're exactly right. If you can get less than minus 120 on a 2-team 6-point teaser, that is really good. I don't mind minus 120 at all, but obviously BetRivers giving you a very good price there at their store. First of all, in the Broncos-Chargers, I found it very odd that they opened up this game 3 in favor of the Chargers. I made it a pick'em based on my power ratings, and then when I run the numbers, it still came out pick'em. Now, you can go ahead and take a 3 if you can find it, but BetRivers currently down to plus 2.5 on Denver, and that's pretty much where everybody else has it as well. But now that it's down to 2.5, it makes it for a very good spot for us to take it up in a teaser, up to plus 8.5. And like you mentioned, going through the key numbers of 3 and 7. The Denver Broncos have probably experienced the biggest turnaround in the entire NFL this year. They went from being maybe the worst team in the AFC to the point where I have them as the 7th best team in the AFC. I think at worst, these two teams are equal. Like I said, I made it a pick 'em. I don't think the Chargers have home field advantage at all. You've got a division game, the better coach in Sean Payton, the better defense. I think the Broncos bounce back off of last week's win and play this one very competitively. I think they can win it outright. And we know the Chargers don't win by margin. They always play close games. So I think teasing that up to plus 8.5 is a very good position. And then the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of the opposite of Denver. In recent weeks, they have been regressing tremendously. They've lost 3 out of their last 5 games. And if you go back to what they've done in the stats the last 3 or 4 weeks, they're dead last in yards per rush attempt allowed on defense, 28th in third down defense, and 30th in red zone defense. And how about this one, Jimmy? This kind of blew my mind. During this stretch, the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, the Chiefs, where they've really been slipping, Patrick Mahomes of all people, has fallen to 27th in the NFL in yards per pass attempt. He's just not throwing the ball downfield. The Chiefs are not the Chiefs right now, and the Buffalo Bills come to town off of a bye week, so they've had a chance to kind of reset and get ready for this stretch run where they're trying to make a playoff push. Their defense has been improving quite a bit. When I look at this from a power rating standpoint, I made Kansas City a 2-point favorite. And then when I crunch all the numbers, I actually come out with Buffalo as a 3.5-point favorite. So getting this one all the way to 8.5 plus 8.5 on Buffalo, I believe is very advantageous as well.
It should have won a Philadelphia game.
Right.
There's no question about that. And yeah, they're in this spot, and man, they just want to get in. I mean, they get in, and they're one of the few teams that has their starting quarterback, and playing well. So we will see about that. A little desperation spot, a little rested spot, both for Buffalo going into Kansas City. And, of course, we remember that divisional playoff game from a few years ago, that classic where they had it won with 12, 13 seconds left to go in regulation. All right, Brady, interested to see this one. So that's the Denver-Buffalo teaser. 6-point teaser, minus 117 is available right now at BetRivers. First time you're going to the 3-team 10-point teaser approach here. I'm interested to see what you got. So the Saints at home laying 5 to Carolina. San Francisco laying 10.5 to Seattle. And then Green Bay on the road. Boy, recency bias plowing in on the Packers here. 6 on the road at the Giants. A 10-point teaser at BetRivers is a minus 112 price.
Yeah, Jimmy, I was pleasantly surprised to see that BetRivers offers this 3-team 10-point teaser. Those are kind of hard to find sometimes. Okay. And also a very good price that they're offering. I've been utilizing a lot of them this football season very successfully, and I'm used to paying minus 120. So once again, BetRivers offering a very fair price there. I'll start with the Panthers at the Saints, and Jimmy, it pains me to say this, you back there in the great state of Louisiana, but we know you can't make a lot of money betting the Saints as a favorite. It's just not a profitable proposition. Derek Carr and Dennis Allen really not good in that role of the favorite. I thought the Panthers showed a little life last week with their new regime intact, and I think they'll do so again here this week. Another division game for the Panthers. My numbers came to Saints by just 3.5 here, so I'll go ahead and take those 10 points with the Panthers all the way to 15. I don't see the Saints as a team that is going to crush their opponent by a big margin. I'm not even sure if they can win this game. This might be a spot where the Panthers, can get another one in the win column. But, Derek Carr banged up. The Saints are really banged up as an entire team, really. But I think 15 is plenty of a comfortable spot for us here with that 10-point teaser. And next up, I'll go to the Seattle Seahawks and 49ers, and I'll go ahead and pair them with the Seahawks here all the way to plus 20.5. For the Seahawks, they come in to this game off of a loss with extra rest, same season revenge, having been blown out by the 49ers earlier this year on Thanksgiving. And you couple that with a possible huge letdown spot for San Francisco after slaying their dragon in the Philadelphia Eagles last week. San Francisco, I know, feeling very fat and happy right now, and the Seahawks, they are out for blood in this one. I actually would not be surprised if Seattle won this game outright. The Niners could have a little bit of a slip here, but I'm plenty comfortable with plus 20.5. And then finally, the third leg, you mentioned the Giants and the Packers. This is similar to the game we won last week with the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday night. I think when you get a team that's really having a rough go of it, Cincinnati obviously going through the loss of Joe Burrow, Jake Browning's first start. The Giants have been pretty miserable all season, showing some signs as of late with Tommy DeVito, but They get a bye, and now they go into a Monday night game where this is their Super Bowl. In front of the entire nation, they can show that they're not the doormat of the league. And conversely, you have the Green Bay Packers, like the 49ers, also in a possible big letdown spot after just knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs on national TV. And you talked about it, the Packers being very inflated right now. Their stock could not be any higher, the Green Bay Packers. So maybe this line is a little bit inflated as well. And then finally, Jimmy, the role that we've talked about on this show a number of times, the Green Bay Packers go from a home underdog that wins outright into the role of road favorite. That has been successful, going against the road favorite every single time this season, except for our bet on the Jets last week. We hope it comes back into the win column for us this week. We'll take the Giants up to plus 16.
Yeah, so real high-profile games. Of course, a standalone game on Sunday night with Green Bay. The San Francisco and that nationally broadcast game of the week, that afternoon game against Philadelphia. So some recency bias inflation there. And once upon a time, the Saints were unbeatable at home. They're 0-5 this year against the spread, and it's something like 2-15 their last 17 against the spread at home. And it's reached an all-time low. More Lions fans in the Superdome last Sunday, and also booing Derek Carr. So we appreciate the gifts of Brady, but you can have them back of Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. So they are booing him. It got to a point where Alvin Kamara is trying to calm down the fans from booing Derek Carr. Not sure if he's going to play this week, though. It might be a Jameis Winston game for the Saints. So that's a 10-point teaser. Carolina plus 15, Seattle plus 20.5, and the New York Giants plus 16, minus 112 available on a 10-point three-team teaser at BetRivers. All right, good luck to you this week. We'll be doing it throughout the end of the season. For Brady Kannon, I'm Jimmy Ott, talking NFL with the best bets here in the Sports Bettor's Paradise on the BetRivers Network.